Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Beginning as clan leader. Creating the strongest Uchiha wave, crossing the 1,000 Knights to the Uchiha clan, he not only wants to change the ending of Extermination Night, I swear even more to make Yuzhibo the strongest clan. Several years later, when the Peach and Golden Styles arrived on Earth, I only saw a group of colorful Gundam queuing up for them Peach-style hemp. He didn't know that all the lower-level creatures here were using Gundam. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Uncle Fuyue, you are no longer for being a clan. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Yuzhibo clan land, in the conference room, the suppression of our clan by the senior officials in the village has been becoming increasingly excessive recently. Not long after I left my tribe today, I realized that I was being targeted by the secret forces. What does this mean? Are you guarding us, Yuzhibo, like thieves? Yeah, they didn't even take us seriously. Clan leader, don't hesitate anymore, let's take action. Yeah, we can't continue like this anymore. The ethnic people are filled with complaints about the recent crackdown on the village's top management. Everyone is full of dissatisfaction. At this moment, a boy in the corner suddenly had a daze on his face. Quickly, the eyes regained clarity. Helplessly muttering in a low voice, I didn't expect to catch the crossing tide too. Yes, he has traveled through time. I traveled to a young man named Uchiha Chinya. And this young man's identity is somewhat special, because his brother is the famous instant stop water. Just different from waterproofing, Chinya is a complete vegetable chicken. Now it's just a matter of patience. And after stopping the water and committing suicide, Chinya has completely become a lonely family. Of course, it doesn't matter anymore. What makes Chinya most conflicted is that, now it is 55 years old for Mai. There is only half a year left until the night of extermination. How about find a way to sneak out now? But in the next moment, Chinya shook his head and rejected it. You know, it's much more dangerous outside the village than inside. I'm just a little patient, especially with the blood inheritance limit like, riding will eyes. I don't know how many people outside are staring at me with red eyes. If he were to slip out of the village, it would be as if the sheep had slipped out of the sheep pen, and it would still be very dangerous. Even the worst outcome is that before the night of extermination arrives, I will die outside first. Thinking of this, Chinya is completely numb. At this moment, faced with the grievances of his tribe, Yuzhibo Fuyue embraced them with both arms and said calmly, "We are also part of the village. If there is really internal strife, it will only attract war. We must cherish the hard-won peace." Cut, Chinya sneered with disdain. It's like this again. Every time the people of the tribe express their dissatisfaction and want to make changes, Yuzhibo Fuyue will find various reasons to evade them. On the surface, it is to cherish peace, but actually, it's just weakness and concession. They are almost riding on your neck to defecate, but you dare not even fart. This is not weakness, what is it? Even hoping to gain the understanding of the village's senior management through this. I poo. You should know that in the hearts of those at the top of the village, the existence of Yuzhibo itself is already a threat. Chinya felt nauseous in his stomach and was too lazy to listen any longer. He got up and was about to leave. But at this moment. Ding. System binding in progress. System binding successful, system. You're here. Quickly introduce your features. This system is a clan system. Intended to assist the host in building Uchiha into the largest clan in the ninja realm. When the reputation and overall strength of Yuzhibo are improved, the host can receive corresponding rewards. Ding. Host, please fundamentally change the Uchiha clan first. Task. Challenge the clan leader and obtain the position of clan leader. If the task is successful, you can receive rewards. 3. Go use Sharingan, pillar cells, Qianye. That although the rewards are very tempting, but I'm just being patient. The first task you posted was for me to challenge Fuyue. Who is Fuyue? The head of the Uchiha clan. And it is known as the Fierce Eye. This nickname was accumulated with blood and bones during the Third Ninja World War. In other words, Fuyue is not only the leader of the Uchiha clan, but also the top expert in the clan. So no matter what you think, you can't succeed on your own. I'm so excited. You should know that nowadays, Fuyue definitely has shadow-level strength. Especially during the Third Ninja War, a kaleidoscope bloomed. Of course, he has never revealed this to the public before. On the one hand, he doesn't want to arouse the fear of the village's top management. On the other hand, if the ethnic people were to know that he had opened a kaleidoscope, their rebellious emotions would definitely become even stronger. But in Qianye's view, this kind of concealment behavior is also a manifestation of cowardice. If you really want the village leaders to treat Yuzhibo better, so deterrence definitely has more weight than concession. In summary, even in a passionate scene like Hokage, it is absolutely impossible for Xia Ren to win the film level. But Qianye is really unwilling to give up like this. Now the opportunity is right in front of us. I'm not willing to give it a try. It doesn't matter if you fail. The worst outcome would be to die at the hands of De Xiaozi 6 months later. After the decision was made, Qianye no longer hesitated and immediately stood up. At this moment, the meeting has come to an end. Fuyue rubbed his brow and said wearily, "That's all for today's meeting. If you have nothing, let's go back first." Although the people of the tribe were dissatisfied with Fuyue's inaction, due to his status, it was difficult to say anything. Just as they were about to get up and leave, a voice suddenly sounded. "Wait a minute." Qianye stood up. 1,000 nights. "Do you have anything to do?" Fuyue asked curiously. "Uncle Fuyue, I don't think you're suitable to be a clan leader anymore. So I want to challenge you." Qianye said with a serious expression. Even changed the title of Fuyue directly. Wow! Qianye's words stirred up 1,000 waves with just one stone. The entire conference room instantly became a mess. Countless people looked at Qianye in surprise. "How dare he dare," Xin said. "Take a moment to endure, how dare you challenge the clan leader." Fuyue let out a leisurely sigh. He knows that the concession policy, in recent years has made the ethnic people very dissatisfied, so it was predicted that such a day would come. What he never expected was that, the first one to mention is actually Qianye. Can you endure it for a while? However, since someone has proposed a challenge, according to the rules, he cannot refuse no matter what. Thinking of this, he said, "Okay. I accept your challenge." Chapter 2. Last-minute cramming. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Qianye wants to challenge the clan leader. He must be crazy. If he were a water stop, I could still understand, but the key is that he doesn't have the talent to stop water. If he had half the talent for stopping water, he wouldn't be able to endure it now. I really don't know what he thinks. After being surprised, everyone thought that Qianye must be crazy. Even with a low tolerance, he dared to challenge the clan leader. This is not crazy, what is it? Qianye was too lazy to pay attention to what others were thinking. After Fuyue agreed, he turned around and left. And the challenge is set for tomorrow. 1,000 nights. Not long after leaving the conference room on Qianye, a human figure chased after him. It is the loyal ally of Qianye, Uchiha Iron Fire. Are you crazy? What exactly are you thinking? Yuzhibo Tiehua doesn't understand Qianye's behavior very much. You should know that the chieftain is not just the person with the highest status in a clan. It is also a symbol of national dignity. Is that something anyone can easily challenge? So, if the challenge is successful, it's okay, but if it fails, it's not just about being ridiculed, it's even possible to lose a place to stay within the clan. I can't explain too much to you now. In short, all you need to know is that everything I'm doing now is to transform Uchiha. Qianye said earnestly. Compared to the consequences of failed challenges, he cannot accept the fate of Uchiha being exterminated. Seeing Qianye's solemn expression, Yuzhibo realized that Qianye was not playing around. So he patted Qianye's shoulder and said, I support you. If there's anything I can help with, call me anytime. Okay. In the evening, as the sun sets in the west, Yuzhibo clan land, after completing the mission, Uchiha Itachi walked home with a long, long shadow behind him. Due to the frequent absence of Uchiha Itachi from internal gatherings recently, the tribe has become very dissatisfied with him. If it weren't for his status as the crown prince, this dissatisfaction would have turned into violence long ago. At this moment, the ethnic people on both sides of the street were staring coldly at Uchiha Itachi. But Uchiha Itachi seemed to have noticed nothing and continued on his own path. At this moment, he suddenly heard some voices of discussion. Have you all heard that Yuzhibo Qianye is going to challenge the clan leader? Time is tomorrow. Is it really fake? If I remember correctly, that kid was just holding on, right? Of course it's true, I was on site at the time. Really? That's quite lively. Look. Yuzhibo frowned slightly and then turned around. Soon, he appeared on the roof of a house. At this moment, the sun has set and his figure is well hidden in the darkness. After arriving here, a hint of sadness appeared in Uchiha Itachi's eyes. This is a home that stops water. For him, stopping water is both a teacher and a friend. He is a very important person in his life. But unfortunately, the water stop is no longer there. If the water stop is still there, it can definitely share my current pressure. Yuzhibo Itachi's eyes showed a look of nostalgia. She immediately shook her head and looked into the room, because Qianye is the younger brother of Jishue, perhaps due to a hint of guilt, so Uchiha Itachi is still very concerned about Qianye. Furthermore, it is important too, he was curious about how Qianye Yixia Ninja dared to challenge the clan leader. Is it possible that there is a secret weapon? For example, the death of stopping water stimulates Qianye to open the Sharingan. If that's the case, so I believe that the spirit of stopping water in heaven will also feel happy. However, when Uchiha Itachi saw the scene in the room, he immediately had a black line on his forehead. I saw Qianye scratching his ears and cheeks while looking at a scroll in the room. On the cover of the scroll, there are several large characters. The basic version of the fire escape series of ninjutsu, sure enough, it still doesn't work. There's no time for last-minute cramming. Qianye said with a headache on her face. Yuzhibo Itachi. So, in other words, this kid is not catching. Have you not even learned the basic fire escape ninjutsu yet? How dare he challenge his father? Yuzhibo Itachi had no face to continue watching and left with a speechless expression on his face. Inside the house, Qianye threw the scroll aside and lay listlessly on the floor, murmuring, it seems that he doesn't have much advantage in ninjutsu. But in fact, not just ninjutsu, even including illusions. Physical surgery, chakra, he's not even a match for Fuyue. Even if his strength skyrocketed to the level of Fuyue overnight, he can't be a match for Fuyue either. Because there is also a difference in combat experience between the two of them. As someone who participated in the Third Ninja World War, Fuyue has extremely rich combat experience. And as a little vegetable chicken who has not even seen much blood, how could it be compared to me? So, actually, it's not just those ethnic people waiting to watch the excitement, even himself, I also think we're set to lose. But fortunately, Qianye never thought of relying on strength to win. Chapter 3. Challenge begins. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After a night of fermentation, the heat of Qianye's challenge to clan leader Fuyue has also reached its peak. Early in the morning, the training ground in the tribe was already crowded with people. The first to arrive is Fuyue. After he arrived, he clasped his arms and waited honestly. Not long after, another figure appeared. And the appearance of this person also caused a sensation among the crowd. It's Chinya. What exactly is this guy thinking? Is the clan leader also something he can challenge? Although it is said that the leader of the Fuyue clan also became the clan leader by defeating the previous clan leader, no matter what, it is not Chinya's turn to take on the challenge of enduring it all. I really don't know who gave him the courage. Fuyue also sensed the arrival of Chinya and turned around. Are you sure you want to challenge me? Fuyue spoke up. Ah. Although I have made some mistakes, I have already become aware of them. Chinya replied. That's good. At this point, Fuyue said no more, even putting on airs and entering a state of combat. Do not underestimate any weak enemy, this is the valuable experience he gained with his blood from the battlefield. The clan leader. Surprisingly, he has become more serious. Probably to save some face for Chinya. For the clan leader, it's probably quite difficult to make Chinya's defeat not so embarrassing. Ha ha ha. Obviously, everyone doesn't believe that Chinya can really defeat Fuyue. Erju's excited face turned red as he clenched his fists and shouted, Father, we must teach him a lesson. In the field, take a deep breath in Chinya and take the lead. Hua dun hao hua chiu. This is the only technique he can currently use to make a move. Blazing flames, a fireball crashed towards Fuyue. Fuyue remained calm and used the technique of a giant fireball. Although both are giant fireballs, but there is a significant difference in size between the two giant fireballs. Boom! Two fireballs collided fiercely. A heatwave swept through in a moment. After the flames dissipated, Chinya disappeared in place. Fuyue squinted his eyes, paying attention to every move around him. Soon he noticed something and his gaze shifted upwards. I saw Chinya appearing in mid-air at this moment. With a flick of his hands, he shot dozens of swords at Fuyue from various angles. Upon seeing this, Fuyue dared not dare to hold on to it and immediately opened his Sharingan. With the help of the powerful dynamic vision of the Sharingan, the flight paths of those wielding swords can be clearly seen. The rich mountains flicker and move, if you can avoid them, then avoid them. If you cannot avoid it, use bitterness to push it away. Shoo! A avoided sword flew past Fuyue's side. Next second, that sword in hand turned into 1,000 knights in the smoke. Chinya made a magnificent turn in mid-air, and his right leg swung towards Fuyue like a battle axe. The onlookers changed their faces and thought that when Chinya was about to succeed without looking back, Fuyue reached out and clasped Chinya's ankle. Under these eyes, such a move is simply ineffective. With a cold snort, Fuyue exerted all his strength and threw Chinya away. Chinya adjusted her posture in mid-air and finally landed on the surface of a small river next to her, rippling in circles from her foothold. Chinya shook her numb hands and was pondering what to do next. A series of footsteps sounded. I saw Fuyue take the initiative to rush forward this time. Chinya can only be forced to fight at this moment. The dark side, who was hiding under surveillance, saw the situation and immediately reported it to Hokage. What? Do you say that Uchiha Chiya is challenging Uchiha Fuyue? After hearing this news, Ape Flying Sun stood up in shock. To be honest, he actually hopes that Yuzhibo can maintain this status quo unchanged, as long as Yuzhibo Fuyue remains the clan leader, so Yuzhibo won't make any major moves in the short term. But now, surprisingly, someone is attempting to challenge Uchiha Fuyue. And once the opponent successfully challenges, Yuzhibo changes to a new clan leader, so the Uchiha clan will definitely undergo changes. Change represents unknown dangers. Yuzhibo Chinya. The monkey Flying Sun muttered the name, his brows furrowed tightly. Next, he quickly took out a roster from the drawer. This roster records information about all members of the Yuzhibo tribe. Ranked by strength, that is to say, those with strong abilities rank at the top of the roster, the weaker ones are at the back. In the nearly 1,000-page roster, Monkey Flying Sun / finally found the name of Uchiha Chinya on the last page 179. Ri-Zhan, we must stop this matter. Turning to sleep, Xiaochun stood up and said. That's right. If this Uchiha Chinya is a hawk, it will be a great threat to the peace of the village. Mido gate inflammation associated with the urethra. Don't be nervous. This is the relevant information about Yuzhibo Chinya, let's all take a look. Ape Flying Sun / took a puff of smoke and then handed the roster to the front. The two of them turned their heads and looked over. I graduated from ninja school 3 years ago, but still a ninja now. And did you always perform mediocrely at ninja school when you were a child? After seeing this information, both consultants were at a loss. Such a small vegetable chicken, how dare he challenge Yuzhibo Fuyue? Is it difficult? This kid has been hiding his foolishness all along. Xiaochun guessed while sleeping. Not very likely. If this guy was stunning when he was young, but grew up to be ordinary, you could say he was deliberately hiding his talent. But this guy has been average since he was a child. Children love to show off, how can they know how to hide their foolishness? So, I guess this guy is probably just trying to impress the public. Mido Menyen gave his own ideas. Immediately, the two of them looked at the Monkey Flying Sun / together. Ape Flying Sun / did not give his own answer, but looked at the secret agent who came to report and said, you continue to monitor. Once the results of the competition come out, inform me immediately. Yes. Chapter 4. Successful Mouth Escape. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. On the river surface, after a physical battle, the two of them once again distanced themselves and began practicing ninjutsu. Hua Dun Hao Hua Chiu. Fireballs collide, unleashing astonishing heat. The river water quickly evaporated under high temperature, forming a large area of water vapor that submerged the two of them, blocking the view of the onlookers around. Amidst the steam, Fuyue, who had opened 3 jade traps, quickly locked onto Chinya's position and was about to attack. Chinya suddenly dissipated his aura and stood unprepared in front of Fuyue. What do you mean by this? Fuyue frowned and said. I am not your opponent at all, clan leader, so even if we continue to fight, it will be meaningless. Besides, my chakra has run out. Chinya answered very candidly. So, are you giving up? Fuyue's heart is full of disappointment towards Chinya. Although he believes that challenging himself with Chinya is irrational. But appreciating the courage of Chinya, dare to put your inner thoughts into action. This alone is much stronger than the vast majority of people. But unexpectedly, Chinya, before being defeated, I have already voluntarily surrendered and given up. It seems that you haven't been well aware. Fuyue said in a deep voice. Of course I have already become aware. But it's not about defeating your consciousness. But to become a clan leader and lead the Uchiha clan towards a prosperous consciousness. 1,000 nights, word by word. Extremely serious expression. After a pause, continuing. Uncle Fuyue. What do you think of the relationship between Yuzhibo and the senior management of the village? Fuyue pondered for a moment before answering. At present, there is indeed a gap and misunderstanding between Yuzhibo and the senior management of the village. But I believe that these will gradually disappear over time. Chinya laughed. Slowly disappearing. Unfortunately, what disappeared in the end was not the barriers and misunderstandings. But it's Uchiha. But the reality is that the village's senior management is increasingly suppressing us. Chinya said coldly. Fuyue suddenly blush. Uncle Fuyue, actually you also love the village deeply. You have always chosen to back down on the suppression of the village. In fact, You are using this way to show goodwill to the village's senior management, indicating that Yuzhibo will not harm the village. But obviously, your kindness has not received a response. What does this mean? It indicates that the village's top management has been suspicious of us all along. Not even considering us as part of the village. In this way, the suppression will continue. And the dissatisfaction of the ethnic people will also become increasingly strong. Uncle Fuyue, you can suppress the clan members now, but what about in the future? When the suppressed emotions reach their limit, it is necessary to find a breakthrough. Fuyue is speechless. But it's not difficult to see from his expression that Qianye got it right. No one likes war except for lunatics. The same goes for Fuyue. Therefore, his greatest hope is that Yuzhibo can truly integrate into the village and live comfortably in this land all along. For this reason, he has been continuously releasing goodwill to the senior management of the village, but unfortunately, what he got in exchange was, and Qianye is right. If the suppression by the senior management of the village continues, the resistance of the ethnic people will also become increasingly strong. There will always be a day when he, as the tribal leader, cannot suppress it. Even now, this trend is starting to emerge. When he looked at Qianye again, Fuyue's gaze had already changed. He was surprised that Qianye couldn't bear it anymore and could see this so thoroughly. Even in a tone of seeking advice, he said, "So what do you think should be done?" "Change." Qianye gave her answer. "Let me be the clan leader and change the previous policy." Fuyue clenched his arms and said, "You speak lightly. And you're just a ninja." In Uchiha's history, ninja has never been a clan leader before. Qianye looked into Fuyue's eyes and said, "It's not that only the strongest people can become clan leaders, but only those who truly love this tribe are qualified to become clan leaders. Leading Yuzhibo towards glory, I am ready to give my life for this matter." Fuyue's heart was slightly touched at this point. The water vapor is about to dissipate. Looking at Qianye's firm gaze, after a long silence, Fuyue suddenly smiled and said, "The responsibility of being called the clan chief is not easy. You'd better be well aware." Qianye gave a faint smile, mouth done. Clan leader, successful. Quickly, the water vapor slowly dissipated. Everyone brushes their heads together and looks up. Immediately after, one by one, their faces showed signs of shock. This. How could this be possible? I saw Qianye standing in front of Fuyue, thrusting a painless needle into his abdomen. Fuyue's face turned pale and he collapsed weakly to the ground. Soon, a dazzling blood red spread from beneath his body. This is impossible. Qianye actually defeated the clan leader. This is too unbelievable, right? I suspect I might have been enchanted. It must be that guy. Qianye secretly used some despicable means. That's right, it must be like this. Faced with everyone's questioning, Qianye openly admitted it. That's right, I did use some shameful means to win over the clan leader. However, ninjas are not meant to fight the enemy openly, are they? Because knowing that the people of the tribe know exactly how much they weigh, Qianye is too lazy to pretend. This. After being scolded by Qianye, everyone had nothing to say. Yeah. Raids, assassinations, ambushes, gathering intelligence, setting traps, these are the things that ninjas truly excel at. Although Qianye's words may sound unpleasant, they speak out the essence of ninjas in one sentence. So the wind direction immediately reversed. Yeah, you know, Qianye is just a bit of a bear. He was able to win over the clan leader with some small tricks, which is also very impressive. If you have to fight openly even when you know the enemy is stronger than you, then you are a fool. Qianye, well done. Fuyue, lying on the ground pretending to be dead, looked at Qianye in surprise. This guy, my brain is spinning fast enough. In just a few words, I completely reversed the previously unfavorable situation for myself. Chapter 5. The new clan leader is very tough. You are listening at novel full.audio. How could it be? That little devil really won. After learning that Qianye had truly defeated Yuzhibo Fuyue, 8 Flying Sun Zhan and 2 advisors immediately rushed towards the direction of the Yuzhibo tribe. The monkey Flying Sun / couldn't figure it out. Qianye, how could he possibly defeat Yuzhibo Fuyue by enduring it all? Even if Yuzhibo Fuyue underestimates the enemy, but at least he is also a strong actor, you won't be defeated by a ninja, will you? Soon, the 3 of them arrived at the land of the Uchiha tribe. At this moment, the tribe is celebrating Qianye becoming the new clan leader. After seeing the sudden appearance of the monkey Flying Sun / the expressions of the tribe members were not very natural. Some even pulled up their faces directly, their facial expressions were as ugly as ever. After all, they are living such a repressed life now, and the monkey Flying Sun / can definitely be called a meritorious achievement. If you say that the face of the monkey Flying Sun Slayer is thick enough, those ugly faces and cold gazes did not affect him at all, even walked over with a smile on his face. To Fuyue, he said, "Fuyue chieftain, I heard that a young man challenged you. What was the result?" Fuyue covered the wound on his abdomen and said with a dry smile, "It's because my skills are not up to par, I lost." Monkey Flying Sun's face twitched and he immediately looked at Qianye beside him with a smile, saying, "Are you Qianye? You're really a hero who produces a young man. But if I remember correctly, are you just enduring now?" What he means outside of his words is that you must be deceiving me, kid. If this showdown is unfair, then, as Hokage, he will have a legitimate reason to cancel the outcome of this showdown. In this way, Fuyue can continue to be the clan leader. We can also eliminate unstable factors. Faced with the inquiry from monkey Flying Sun / Qianye scratched his head and said awkwardly, "I didn't expect Lord Huiying to pay so much attention to my small tolerance. I was really flattered. Yes, this time I set many traps here in advance to defeat Uncle Fuyue." Fortunately, the Emperor did not disappoint those with intentions, and in the end, I really won. Monkey Flying Sun / He originally thought Qianye would find excuses, find reasons. But what he never expected was that, this kid actually shamelessly admitted it. And what is the reaction of those Uchiha people? Surprisingly, not a single person came forward to protest. This makes the monkey Flying Sun / feel like a hard punch hitting cotton. Don't mention how depressed you are in your heart. Mito Menyen stood up and said coldly, "You didn't even inform us in advance about the big matter of changing the clan leader and listening to our opinions. This is not taking us seriously, is it?" Fuyue's face changed. Hart said that this matter really caught the attention of the village's senior management. Qianye immediately frowned. Xin said she didn't see her clan leader talking to Huiying. "What did you suddenly jump out and say?" So he directly and rudely asked, "Advisor, I want to ask if Yuzhibo is a part of the village." Mito Menyen raised his chin and said confidently, "Of course. It is precisely because Uchiha is a member of the village that important matters like changing tribal chiefs should be discussed with us in advance. Even if the relationship between the senior management of the village and Yuzhibo is so bad. But on the surface, everyone still needs to be friendly and friendly." Fuyue looked at Qianye in surprise and thought to himself, "Isn't this digging a pit for himself?" However, Qianye turned his voice and continued, "Since that's the case, why haven't you discussed the important matter of changing the fire shadow in the village with us, Yuzhibo? Let's take the recent example. When the 4th generation was in power, Yuzhibo was always a foodie, and no one ever came to ask for our opinion." Mito Gate Inflammation immediately went silent. "Don't say it's an important matter like changing the Huiying, even if it's just a regular meeting. I won't even invite people from Uchiha to participate. But it's too embarrassing to say this in such a situation." Even the face of 8 Flying Sun slaying was ugly. And those Uchiha people, not to mention how happy they are at this moment, all have a feeling of lifting their brows and puffing up their anger. Xin said that this newly appointed tribal leader is tough enough. As soon as he took office, he kicked the village's top management. And there is also reason and evidence. Let the other party get beaten, they can't even curse a word. Chinya's words just now were too shameful, even a bit rebellious. If we don't give them a step soon, the village's top management will definitely not give up easily. After all, they also need face. But obviously, Chinya had no intention of giving steps. So much so that the atmosphere here suddenly became tense, and a faint smell of gunpowder permeated the air. Even a few elite secret forces hiding in the shadows have entered a combat state. There is a posture of starting a fight at the slightest disagreement. At this moment, Yuzhibo Tiehua in the crowd suddenly rolled his eyes and called on a few companions to lift Chinya up and throw him into the sky. At the same time, he shouted loudly, "Welcome to the new clan leader. Welcome to the new clan leader." Seeing that the other party had already started celebrating, they completely ignored the others, and Monkey Flying Sun had to go back with a disheveled face after killing the three of them. Monkey Flying Sun bit his teeth and forced himself to swallow this breath. After the high-level officials in the village left, Yuzhibo Iron Fire muttered with lingering fear, "It was so dangerous just now. We almost had a fight." Chinya smiled and said, "Don't worry, as long as we don't explicitly state our intention to rebel, then with the character of the third generation, we will continue to endure it." Chapter 6. Claim rewards and boost strength. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I thought that kid was just an ordinary kid. Now it seems that I underestimated him. After returning to the office, it took the ape a long time to calm down. You know, when he used to deal with Fuyue, he was very adept. But I didn't expect to eat it in the hands of a little ghost now. I heard that Uchiha has changed his clan leader. What exactly is going on? At this moment, a figure burst in. This person has a cold and gloomy aura all over him, so much so that after he came in, the temperature in the room dropped a lot. This person is Jitsuan Tuanzang. A synonym for the darkness of the ninja world. The situation is like this. Xiaochun explained the situation briefly. After Xiaochun finished speaking, "So, you knew the situation had happened, but you didn't take action. But wait until the outcome of the duel comes out before taking action, right? Humph, Rigian. This is the consequence of your indecisiveness." After catching the conversation, Tuan Hidit immediately pointed out the shortcomings of Ape Flying. Ape Fei's face turned black, but there's nothing to say. Mainly, he didn't expect that a ninja could actually defeat a shadow-level powerhouse. This is even lower than the probability of winning the lottery. I always feel that this matter is not as simple as it appears on the surface. Perhaps those evil Uchiha are brewing a conspiracy. Ri-Zhan, don't hesitate anymore. Hurry up and take action. This is also your opportunity to make amends. Tuan Tsang Lang Lang Dao. No way. Yuzhibo is also a part of the village. I believe that the fire consciousness passed down from generation to generation will definitely change them. Ape Fei rejected it without even thinking about it. Of course, in fact, the true thoughts in my heart are. If we take action against Yuzhibo without any basis now, not to mention that they are unreasonable, in addition, several major families in the village may also have objections to them. Today is Uchiha, will it be their turn tomorrow? Furthermore, it is important Yuzhibo can also be considered a major force in the village. If Uchiha suddenly disappears, at that time, it will inevitably attract the covetousness of several other major powers. In the worst-case scenario, it could even lead to war. So, monkey flies dare not take risks. Your indecisiveness will only bring disaster to the village. Tuanzang gritted his teeth and said. Don't forget. I am the Hokage. Ape Flying set up a framework of fire shadows. Those who hold gas in the group need to vomit blood. That's the same sentence again. Every time the two of them argue fiercely, Monkey Fly will use this sentence to suppress him. Plus the regret of missing the position of Hokage 30 years ago. This also makes Tuanzang extremely persistent about the position of Hokage. You will regret it. After dropping a harsh sentence as usual, Tuanzang left without looking back. After Tuanzang leaves, Ape Fei looked out the window at the starry sky, and his thoughts began to spin. After a while, he murmured. In a way, changing the clan leader for Yuzhibo is not entirely a bad thing. After all, a young chieftain is much easier to control than a mature and cunning chieftain. Yes, Ape Fei has already thought of controlling Qianye. Brainwash him with a fire consciousness similar to stopping water. In the heart of monkey flying. Eliminating Uchiha is never the optimal choice. The reason why my village can consistently rank first among the 5 major ninja villages is that the Uchiha clan is indispensable. For monkey flying, controlling the entire Uchiha is the optimal solution. Yuzhibo clan land, after finishing the celebration and returning home, Qianye couldn't wait to open the system. Ding! Detected that the host has successfully become the clan leader. Congratulations on the successful completion of the host task. The reward has been distributed to the backpack and can be claimed by the host at any time. Claim rewards. Qianye couldn't wait to receive the reward. Next, Qianye felt a surge of pupils rushing into his eyes. My eyes are burning hot. But this feeling quickly disappeared. When you open your eyes again, her eyes have turned crimson. And 3 black jade pieces appeared. Sangoyu writes will eyes. After opening Sangoyu, Qianye immediately felt that the world had changed in his eyes. Firstly, the field of vision has become much clearer. Eyes can see farther places. And the movement of some objects in front of me suddenly slowed down. It's like pressing the slow down button. Additionally, after opening Sangoyu, Qianye's spiritual power experienced an explosive growth. And chakra is composed of physical energy and spiritual energy, so the growth of spiritual power indirectly leads to the growth of chakra. But this is not over yet. Soon, the chakra in Qianye's body experienced its second explosive growth. Chapter 7. Interstellar Cells, Perfect Immortal Body. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Interspinal cells can be regarded as treasures of the ninja world. Ordinary people who transplant it can gain the power of Mudan, the explosive growth of chakra, and the ability to quickly recover their body. It can bring people a leap-like surge in strength. For those who possess the ability to right will eyes, it is even more indispensable. Especially for those who have opened a kaleidoscope to right will eyes, if you don't want to go blind so quickly, you can alleviate the erosion caused by frequent use of kaleidoscope by transplanting columnar cells. Of course, this is an advantage. And the downside is it's very dangerous. After all, it is not a cell of your body. If transplanted, there will definitely be rejection. Especially these cells are detached from the 1,000-handed pillars of the god of ninja. Skin whitening and facial features on the body are all mild side effects. More seriously, it's not surprising to die directly. But fortunately, the inter-column cells rewarded by the system are adjusted to maintain their strength while perfectly embracing the body of Qianye. After absorbing those columnar cells, Qianye experienced another surge of chakra. Even in the end, some uncontrollable chakras leaked out of their bodies and caused a chakra storm. After a while, Qianye finally adapted. So strong. I feel like I can even beat 3 generations to death with one punch now. Qianye clenched her fist, feeling the terrifying power inside her body, and was extremely excited. Of course, this is just an illusion brought to him by the sudden surge in strength. Also, I feel like I've gained a power that I've never encountered before. Qianye murmured and reached out his hand. Concentrate chakra in the palm of your hand. Slowly, a small sapling grew out of Qianye's palm and began to grow at a visible speed to the naked eye. Sure enough, I also gained the power of Mudan. Qianye's face was about to burst into laughter. Of course, due to various factors including chakra, he was still unable to exert the terrifying power of Mu Dun like Qianshou gradually. But this is also quite good. System, open the personal panel. Randomly, a semi-transparent light curtain appeared in front of one. Host. Yuzhibo Qianye Constitution. 107, intercolumnal cells. 3%. Strength. 102 chakra. 101 spiritual strength. 89 speed. 80 blood inheritance boundaries. Writing will eyes and Mu Dun comprehensive evaluation. Elite Shanren additionally, according to the system's explanation. 1.10 is the average level for ordinary people. 10.20 is the lower tolerance level, 20.50 is the medium tolerance level, 50.100 is the upper tolerance level, 100 or above is considered shadow level. There are only a few simple sets of data on the personal panel. After seeing these data, Qianye pinched his chin and began to analyze. Firstly, his physique, strength, and chakra have all reached the level of shadow. This should be the effect brought by columnar cells. Additionally, it is worth noting that, there is a special annotation after, constitution, so I asked what was going on with the system. Ding! When the interpillar cells in the host reach 80%, it can stimulate the power of Indra. Ding! When the intercolumn cells reach 100%, you can obtain a perfect immortal body. Hiss, the power of Indra. Isn't he having a way to reach the 6 immortals? As for the perfect immortal body, you should know that the reason why Qianshuzu is called the god of ninja is because of the perfect immortal human body. The perfect immortal body has two major advantages. One is an almost endless chakra. One is extremely strong life recovery. If he could also obtain the perfect immortal body, isn't he the second god of the ninja realm? I'm so excited just thinking about it. Of course, at present, it seems that this road is still very far away. After all, he only has 3% of the interstitial cells in his body now. But as long as you are willing to walk step by step, the day of achieving your goals will definitely come. Another noteworthy point is that, in addition to Sangoyu and interpillar cells, the system also rewarded 500 points. Points can be used to purchase ninjutsu, cutting tools, special items, etc. in the system mall, but the prices of the things inside are surprisingly high. AD.level ninjutsu requires 500 points. That is to say, he can only exchange for AD.level ninjutsu now. Qianye originally wanted to accumulate more points and directly exchange them for a more advanced ninjutsu. But considering that he currently has too few ninjutsu skills, Qing Yaojin knows how to wield a 3-board axe, he will now be a giant fireball. Finally, Qianye exchanged for AD.level fire escape ninjutsu. After redeeming, Qianye immediately felt a huge flow of information pouring into his brain. It's about the sealing method of D.level ninjutsu. At the same time, the system also brought muscle memory to Qianye. Let Qianye truly master this ninjutsu in an instant. Although the items in the system mall are a bit expensive. But now it seems that there is also a reason for being expensive. Qianye murmured. Afterwards, Qianye ran to the yard and personally performed this ninjutsu. At the moment of casting the spell, the Uchiha clan's land directly turned from night to day. Fortunately, it was just a moment, and it was already late at night, so no one noticed. My goodness. Although it's just a D.level ninjutsu, with the blessing of shadow-level chakras, the damage it causes is no less than that of C.level ninjutsu. Qianye smacked his tongue and said, I am very satisfied inside. Chapter 8. 2 Goals. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Time has just arrived on the second day. Qianye held its first internal gathering since the new tribal leader took office. Faced with the pair of attentive eyes on stage, Qianye gave a very mature and cliché speech within the clan. Quickly, after the rally ended, the tribe dispersed. Qianye alone left several elders within the clan behind. Before the meeting starts, Qianye suddenly turned his gaze to Fuyue. At first, Fuyue didn't realize anything was wrong. Later, under the frequent eye gestures of one of the elders, he finally remembered. Yeah. He is no longer the clan leader. His current identity is an ordinary person within the clan. So, high-level meetings like these that only tribal chiefs and elders can participate in, he is no longer qualified to participate. Now, Blush turns red, awkwardly waving his hand. I'm about to leave. Uncle Fuyue, wait a moment. I am going to announce several new policies regarding clans next. You have more experience and can provide feedback later. Qianye saw that Fuyue was leaving and quickly said. Fuyue stopped. He didn't originally want to stay. Because he still cares more about his reputation. I'm afraid that after today's incident spreads, some people will say that he relies on his old age to sell off his power and refuses to let go of it. But considering that this is a big deal about the clan, so after hesitating for a while, he still stayed. Then, the elders looked at Qianye one after another, curious about what opinions this newly appointed young tribal leader will have. I believe everyone knows that nowadays, ethnic people are living a very oppressive and painful life. And in response to this phenomenon, I have put forward two goals. Firstly, enhance Yuzhibo's reputation in the village and establish good relationships with the villagers. The fundamental reason why the village officials' suppression policies against us have been implemented frequently is that the villagers don't like us. So, we need to make fundamental changes. If the villagers support us, the higher-ups of the village will lose power, and in the future, at least they won't dare to suppress us openly. Qianye said. Fuyue suddenly widened his eyes. At this moment, he has a feeling of enlightenment. Yeah. He used to focus all his thoughts on the high-level side of the village. So much so that they all ignored it. People's hearts are the foundation. Not just Mount Fuyue, the other elders also showed expressions of sudden realization. As for the second goal, it is to revitalize the economy of the tribe. Qianye said again. Last night, Qianye looked at the ledger and realized that this grand family, which has been passed down for thousands of years, is incredibly poor. After some investigation, he finally discovered what was going on. Firstly, due to the deliberate suppression by the village's top management and the innate lack of business acumen of Yuzhibo, the profitable business was mostly controlled by the large family led by Hinata. Furthermore, starting approximately 3 months ago, the village's top management suddenly did not allow Yuzhibo to leave the village to carry out tasks. As for the reason, it is estimated that the senior management of the village has already prepared to take action against Yuzhibo at any time. In this situation, it is natural not to allow individual Uchiha to stay outside the village. In this way, the only way to make money is through the Kiba police department. How can a small police department fatten up a huge Uchiha? In addition, there are various excuses from the top management of the village not to allocate money to the police from time to time. This also led to the clanking of poverty among the ethnic people one by one. It can be said that the suppression of Yuzhibo by the village's senior management is not only physical, it's even more spiritual. Our first priority is to change the villagers' perception of us. Only when the villagers' impression of us improves can we start doing business. After speaking, Qianye looked at the elders below the stage. Dao said, I have finished what I have to say. Do you have anything you want to say? One of the elders said bitterly, it's not easy to change our perception in the hearts of the villagers. To put it bluntly, after so many years, the villagers' impression of Yuzhibo has basically solidified. The other elders also nodded one after another. Yeah, it's not something that can be achieved overnight. Once a certain ethnic group is labeled, it is basically difficult to change. By comparison, I think doing business is a bit easier. Faced with the lack of confidence from many elders, Qianye smiled and said, I have come up with a solution to this method. The elders looked at Qianye in unison. Qianye said, my solution is to have all members of the guard team take a collective vacation. Without any accidents, Chenya's words immediately caused a sensation. Is it a holiday? Are we going on a collective holiday? Then let's go drink the northwest wind then. The police department is indeed a thankless department, but you can't just let everyone give up just to improve your reputation. I thought you could come up with some good idea. And the third generation won't agree either. You should know that the police department is related to the issue of village security, and there can't be no one around for a day. Chenya smiled and said, "Don't worry, everyone. I haven't finished speaking yet. I naturally know that the police department cannot be alone for a day, and it is of great significance. Therefore, after our collective holiday, I will immediately hold an event." Someone immediately asked, "What activity?" The theme of this activity is to allow villagers to personally experience the daily work of security guards. At that time, I will recruit 300 villagers to serve as temporary security guards, and let them do the things we usually do. Of course, it's not for nothing. Pay them as usual. In addition, to increase the fun and challenge of the activity, we will rate them based on their usual performance. The one with the highest score will be rewarded with 1 million taels. When we enforce the law, we are often complained by some villagers about whether the enforcement is too strict, or whether we are taking advantage of the opportunity to seek personal revenge. Since that's the case, let them personally experience this job. Feel the bitterness in it. I think only in this way can we generate understanding and change our understanding of us. After Chenya finished speaking, the conference room became quiet. After a while, an elder said, "Is this method feasible?" The elder in charge of internal finance said, "Is 1 million taels too much? You should know that there is basically no money left within the clan." Chenya said in a deep voice, "The higher the bonus setting, the more people will be attracted to participate. Only by allowing more people to experience firsthand how hard our daily work is can we improve our impression in the hearts of villagers more quickly. So in this situation, don't worry about money anymore." Although Chenya said so, but the elders still cannot fully trust. So one by one, they habitually looked towards Fuyue. Seeing this, although Chenya felt somewhat helpless, he had to admit that at this moment, Fuyue's words were more effective than his. After a moment of contemplation, Yu said, "I think the new clan leader's method can be tried." Although he also felt that this idea was quite bold, but what he had hoped for at the beginning was the change that the new tribal chief would bring after taking office. Chapter 9. This requirement is not excessive, is it? You are listening at novelfull.audio. After it was confirmed, Chenya immediately sent someone to spread the news. And it means the activity will start immediately. And this news is spreading like a hurricane in the village. Experience the daily work of security guards firsthand. This is so fun. If I participate in this activity, can I also go on the street to enforce the law? Not only can I manage others, but I also have money to take. It's so delightful. The most important thing is, there's also a bonus. And it's as high as 1 million taels. No matter who, they all want to have some power in their hands. Not to mention participating in this event, there is also a chance to win a huge prize of 1 million taels. That's no reason to refuse. So a group of people rushed into the security department to sign up. I'm afraid I'll be late. After all, the notice says, this event only recruits 300 people. Until we finish recruiting. So soon, the police department was surrounded by a roaring and magnificent Xin office. As the fire shadow, Ape Flying Sun / naturally received the news soon. What the hell is this little kid up to? Monkey Flying Sun / really can't understand why Chenya did this. In order to restrict the economic development of Uchiha, not only did he not hand over any profitable business to Yuzhibo. Even recently, they have refused all Uchiha's tribe members to go out and carry out missions. At present, the only source of income for Yuzhibo is the security department. If I were myself, I would definitely find a way to tightly control the security department. But that little ghost not only didn't do it, but also held such a strange event. The most outrageous thing is, even setting up huge bonuses. Do those people like Yuzhibo no longer need to make money? Do you all want to go drink the northwest wind? Monkey Flying really can't figure it out. But out of vigilance, he didn't want the event to go smoothly, so he sent someone to find Chinya. Quickly, Chinya walked in under the leadership of the dark side. Chinya was not surprised that he would be found, and even mentally prepared for it. After all, this old guy has always been paying attention to every move of Yuzhibo. Now that something unexpected has happened, he will definitely not sit idly by. Chinya, being a clan leader is very stressful, especially since you are still so young. So if you have any troubles in the future, you can always come to me to confide in me. Monkey Fly said with a caring expression for his younger generation. It seems that I have completely forgotten about the incident where Chinya attacked him last night. Chinya sneered in her heart. To confide in you. I'm afraid you might have brainwashed me. Chinya gratefully said, thank you, Lord Huiying. Monkey Fei took a puff of smoke and quickly got to the point. I heard that you recently organized an activity, and I have also heard about the specific content of the activity. However, the job of the police force is to be responsible for village security, which is of great significance. This kind of thing cannot be done casually, let alone handed over to a group of inexperienced villagers. Chinya complimented, under the wise leadership of Lord Huiying, the security in the village is very good. So much so that our police department rarely has a chance to take action. Ape Face smiled and accepted this flattery. The village has excellent public security, and of course, it is thanks to his fiery shadow. Chinya continued, in this situation, even if the security work is temporarily entrusted to the villagers for management, it is actually harmless. Monkey Flying. How do I feel like I'm getting hooked? In addition, the work of the police department is always handled by members of our Uchiha clan, and there are usually no opportunities to rest. Now that I have become the new tribal leader, it can be considered a great celebration within the clan, so I also want to take the opportunity to give the tribal people working in the police department a break. I believe Lord Hokage has a kind heart and will definitely understand us. Chinya's words can be considered as directly defeating the army of 3 generations. Firstly, it should be noted that the security in the village is good on weekdays. This is what you just admitted to yourself in the 3rd generation. Their police department basically doesn't have much opportunity to take action, it's like a vase. Since it's a vase, who should be it? Furthermore, the people in their police department work year-round without much opportunity for rest. If there is a new clan leader in the clan, it's not unreasonable to take the opportunity to take a break, right? It's completely reasonable. This Sendai Huiying has always been a person who values face. Even if you can't talk to the other person, you won't turn your back. Because once you turn your back, it means you are truly at fault. So he maintained a smile and said, you're right, but I didn't think carefully. Since that's the case, let's do as you said. Thank you, Lord Huiying. After speaking, Chinya left. After Chinya left, Ape Flying Sun's smile immediately narrowed and his expression became cold and gloomy, what a little devil with sharp teeth and sharp teeth. But I want to see what you can come up with. Chapter 10. Activity ongoing, changes in villagers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Soon, 300 temporary security guards officially started working. After officially starting work, they gradually realized how hard this job was. How bitter. How incomprehensible. For example, when you enforce the law, discover your friends among the troublemakers. What should you do then? If you continue to enforce the law as usual, your friends will say you lack loyalty. Not authentic. But if you favor your friends, the villagers will scold you for not having a sense of responsibility. The corpse is a vegetarian meal. Even some people with a bad temper will throw rotten eggs at you. There is a feeling that no matter how you choose, it will be difficult and not pleasing. And this is quite torturous. So much so that, at just 1/3 of the event, nearly half of the villagers couldn't resist the pressure and withdrew from the event. The remaining half of the villagers said, "Then I'll just mess it up. Every time a case occurs, I hide and walk, so won't we offend both sides? And you can still get the money as usual. Isn't it beautiful?" And with the downfall of these people, the security of the village also deteriorated in a short period of time. Various incidents of theft, robbery, and drunkenness often occur. Even in the end, the villagers dare not go out at night. The deterioration of village security has also caused unbearable suffering for the villagers. So they all went to the police department to complain. But when I run to the police department to take a look, just suddenly came to my senses. At this moment, the people who are enforcing the law are no longer those of Yuzhibo. In this situation, the villagers couldn't help but start reminiscing about the days when Yuzhibo was enforcing the law, and half a month after the event, a voice suddenly spread from the villagers. It is precisely because Yuzhibo is deliberately putting things on display that the village's security has become like this. The real culprit is Yuzhibo. I don't know from whom this sound started, but it just spread all at once. It's like someone deliberately pushing the tide behind the scenes. So the villagers turned their malice towards Uchiha. I think it's Uchiha who caused all of this. Qianye, who constantly observes everything, suddenly has some understanding of what Chimu Shuamao felt at that time. Don't even think about it, the mastermind behind all this is either Tuanzang or the third generation. Anyway, these two people didn't run away. And Qianye quickly gave the other party a counterattack. So one day, another voice suddenly spread among the villagers. First of all, Yuzhibo is a normal vacation and rest. Even the third generation is allowed to do so. Furthermore, when Yuzhibo was enforcing the law in the past, what was your attitude towards them? Now you know you regret it again. So, the group of villagers who had been clamoring the most before suddenly fell silent. Yeah. Although they are law enforcement officers, but it's not made of iron either, it also requires rest. Furthermore, it is important to, when people used to enforce the law normally, not only did you gossip, but you also put on a bad face. Do you now know that he's doing well again? Why did you go earlier? I regret it. I shouldn't have been gossiping when Yuzhibo was enforcing the law before. Me too. They take risks to enforce the law just to create a good and safe environment for us, but we still look at them with that kind of perspective. It's really unreasonable. Speaking of which, the police department is already an easily offending and thankless department. But Yuzhibo has been working without complaint for so long. Based on this alone, we have no right to say they are not. Previously, it was our petty hearts that measured the belly of gentlemen. At this moment, the villagers all realized their mistakes, and my impression of Uchiha has also changed. And by the time the activity reaches 2/3, the villagers can't bear it anymore. Jointly write to Yuzhibo Qianye, it means they can't bear it anymore. I hope to end this event early. Qianye means where did this come from? The bitter fruits you planted before, try it slowly now. During this period, Fuyue also searched Qianye once. How about ending this activity early? I think the security in the village is really chaotic. Fuyue used to be not only a tribal leader, but also a captain of the police force. So when he saw the security in the village turn like this, he also felt very sad. No way. The activity must proceed according to the original plan. This activity was the first command I arranged after taking office. If it were changed casually like this, it would be a big blow to the dignity of my clan leader. Furthermore, we must take this opportunity to give those villagers a profound lesson, otherwise they will not remember it. Qianye firmly said. Upon hearing this, Fuyue had no choice but to give up. Finally, 1 month later, after countless villagers waited for a long time, and under the eager expectations, the event has finally come to an end. Uchiha people are back on duty again.